Imagine this for a second. Shedeur Sanders walks out of Cleveland, not to the NFC, not to some random team far away where Browns fans can forget about him. No, to Pittsburgh, black and gold, a division rival, 2 games every single year. Browns fans watching the quarterback they gave up on walk into the AFC North and try to punish them for the next few seasons. That is not just a trade rumor, that is a nightmare. And right now, that nightmare is starting to float around the Browns quarterback situation. Because with Deshaun Watson gaining more support as Cleveland's possible starter, there is now speculation that the Browns could move Shedeur Sanders, and one of the names being connected is the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers, of all teams. And if that does not make Browns fans uncomfortable, I do not know what will. Because this is not just about QB1 anymore. This is about risk. This is about regret. This is about whether Cleveland is about to protect its future or accidentally hand it to one of its biggest enemies. And when you connect that with the fact that Todd Monken is already being talked about as a coach under pressure before he has even coached a game in Cleveland, this whole thing starts to feel dangerous. The Browns are not just deciding who starts at quarterback, they are deciding what kind of mistake they can live with. Because if Watson starts and plays well, fine, Cleveland can breathe. But if Watson starts, struggles, and Shedeur gets moved to Pittsburgh, that is the kind of decision that can haunt a franchise. But real quick, if you are new here, this is Browns Breakout. Hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and help us keep building this dog pound community. All right, let's get into it. Let's start with the Shedeur rumor, because I know some fans are going to say, it is just speculation, calm down. And yes, we need to be fair. This is not a confirmed trade. This is not the Browns officially putting Shedeur Sanders on a plane to Pittsburgh. But in the NFL, rumors like this do not come out of nowhere. They usually come from a situation that already has tension inside it, and Cleveland's quarterback room has plenty of tension. Deshaun Watson is still there. Shedeur Sanders is still there. Dillon Gabriel is still there. Taylon Green is now in the building too. That is 4 quarterbacks. And most teams do not want to carry 4 quarterbacks forever. So at some point, Cleveland has to make decisions. Who stays? Who develops? Who starts? Who gets pushed out? And when people start asking those questions, Shedeur becomes one of the most interesting names because he has value, attention, and future upside. That is exactly why the Pittsburgh idea is so scary. Because Pittsburgh does not have a clear long-term answer at quarterback. And the Steelers do what they always do. They wait, they watch, they let other teams make emotional mistakes, then they try to take advantage. That is why Browns fans should not laugh this off too quickly, because trading Shedeur anywhere would be controversial. But trading him inside the division, that is different. That is dangerous. That is personal. You do not want to be the team that gives your rival a quarterback with something to prove. You do not want to watch him circle the Browns game on the calendar. You do not want to hear the national media every week saying, "Did Cleveland give up too soon?" Because that is exactly what would happen. And if Shedeur ever played well in Pittsburgh, even for one game against Cleveland, the reaction would be brutal. Browns fans would never let the front office hear the end of it. Now, to be clear, Shedeur has not proven everything yet. Nobody should act like he is already a guaranteed franchise quarterback. He still has to grow. He still has to process faster. He still has to protect the ball. He still has to prove he can handle the full weight of an NFL offense. But that is the point. He is still young enough that you do not know what he becomes yet. And that is what makes trading him to a rival so risky. Because if you are wrong, you are not just wrong in private. You are wrong twice a year, in your own division, in front of your own fans. That is the nightmare. Now, let's talk about Deshaun Watson. Because this whole situation only exists because Watson is reportedly gaining ground as the expected starter. And that is where the Browns are playing with fire. Watson has the experience. Watson has the contract. Watson has the name. And if he looks healthy and sharp, I understand why Cleveland would want to give him the job. But Browns fans are not asking about what Watson used to be. They are asking about what he is right now. Can he stay healthy? Can he run Todd Monken's offense? Can he move the chains? Can he lead this team without the same old chaos coming back? Because if the Browns choose Watson, they are choosing the veteran. Watson might be the best option for Week 1. Shedeur might be the better long-term bet. Gabriel might surprise people, Talon Green might develop behind the scenes. Nobody knows yet. And that is exactly why trading Shedeur now would feel premature, because the Browns have not even gotten the full answer. They have not seen enough of this competition under real pressure. They have not seen enough in Todd Monken's system. They have not seen enough to know what Shedeur becomes. And until you know, sending him to Pittsburgh feels like playing with fire. Now, maybe the Browns never do it. Maybe this rumor disappears. Maybe Shedeur stays, competes, and the whole thing becomes nothing. But the fact that people are even talking about it tells you how unstable this quarterback situation feels. And that is the bigger problem. Cleveland needs clarity. The Browns cannot keep living in quarterback chaos. They cannot keep having 4 names, 10 rumors, and no clean direction. At some point, Monken and Barry have to make a call. But the call has to be smart, because this season could change everything. If Watson wins and plays well, Cleveland can calm down. If Watson wins and struggles, the Shedeur noise explodes. If Shedeur gets traded and succeeds somewhere else, the front office gets blamed. If Shedeur gets traded to Pittsburgh and succeeds, that becomes a Cleveland nightmare. And if Monken has a bad first season, the pressure on him and Andrew Barry only gets louder. That is why this moment matters. The Browns are standing at a dangerous intersection. One road says, trust Watson and try to win now. One road says, develop Shedeur and protect the future. One road says, move a quarterback before the room gets too crowded. But one wrong turn could send a young quarterback straight to Pittsburgh. And that is the road Browns fans should fear the most. So let me bring this all together. This Shedeur-Sanders trade rumor is not confirmed, but it is powerful because of what it represents. It represents the fear that Cleveland could give up too early. It represents the danger of choosing the past over the future. It represents the nightmare of watching a young quarterback become someone else's answer. And not just anyone else's answer, Pittsburgh's answer. That is why Browns fans should pay attention. Because this is not just a roster question. This is a franchise question. What do the Browns actually believe about Shedeur-Sanders? What do they actually believe about Deshaun Watson? And does Todd Monken have the freedom to make the best football decision? Or is the pressure already pushing Cleveland toward the safest one? Those answers will define everything. So, Dog Pound, I want to know what you think. Would trading Shedeur-Sanders to the Steelers be the biggest mistake the Browns could make? Or should Cleveland move him if they truly believe Deshaun Watson is the guy? Drop your answer in the comments because this one is going to divide Browns fans fast. And if you made it to the end, hit that like button, subscribe to Browns Breakout if you have not already. And let's keep building this Dog Pound community together. Because if Shedeur-Sanders ever leaves Cleveland for Pittsburgh, this will not just be a trade,